Have you ever been around someone who drains your energy? There are people who, just by being in their presence, can make you feel exhausted, manipulated, or even trapped in a web of confusion. Unfortunately, evil isn't just a concept confined to myths and movies, it exists all around us in very real and often subtle ways. The scariest part? Many people don't even recognize when they're dealing with truly manipulative individuals. But don't worry. With a bit of awareness, you can learn to spot the signs of malicious behavior and shield yourself from its harmful effects. Evil people don't come with horns and tails, but their actions always reveal their true nature. They manipulate, destroy, and exploit the kindness of others for their own gain. The good news? You don't have to be a detective to recognize them. Ancient Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca have shared timeless wisdom on identifying and protecting oneself from such individuals. In this guide, I'll break down 10 undeniable signs that you're dealing with a toxic or evil person. More importantly, I'll share personal insights, real-life stories, and strategies to help you maintain your peace and protect your energy. 1. Constant manipulation, the art of twisting reality. Seneca once said, "He who has many fears also has many things to manipulate." Manipulators do not operate on integrity. Instead, they flourish by distorting reality, twisting the truth, and turning lies into their most effective weapons. Their ultimate goal? To gain control over others without them even realizing it. A personal story of manipulation. I remember working with a colleague whom I initially trusted. He had an incredible way of making me feel valued, always praising my efforts in front of others. But behind the scenes, he subtly spun narratives that made my small mistakes seem like massive failures to our management team. When I sensed something was off and confronted him, he remained completely calm and claimed that he was merely helping me improve. I started doubting myself. Was I really making so many mistakes? Was I overreacting? That's how manipulation works. It doesn't just confuse you, it makes you question your own reality. How to protect yourself. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Pay attention to patterns of behavior, not isolated incidents. Set clear personal and professional boundaries. 2. A mask of charm, the dangerous allure of a deceptive smile. Epictetus once warned, appearances, no matter how dazzling, often hide the truth beneath. Have you ever met someone who seemed almost too charming, like they were straight out of a movie? Their radiant smile, soothing words, and ability to make you feel special can feel intoxicating. However, if their charm feels a little too scripted, it might not be genuine. The friend who was too perfect. I once knew someone who had an uncanny ability to make everyone around him feel adored. He would shower people with compliments and make them feel like they were the most important person in the room. But over time, I noticed a disturbing pattern. His words were always tied to personal gain. When he needed something, he was full of praise. When he had nothing to gain, he would distance himself, or worse, badmouth the very people he once flattered. How to see through the mask. Observe how they treat those who have nothing to offer them. Pay attention to inconsistencies between their words and actions. Trust your gut feeling. Charm should feel natural, not calculated. 3. Lies without conscience, when truth becomes an inconvenience. Marcus Aurelius once advised, nothing should be done if it isn't right, and nothing should be said if it isn't true. For truly malicious individuals, honesty is not a virtue, it's an obstacle. They don't lie out of carelessness, they lie because deceit is their second nature. A master of deception. Imagine a friend who constantly boasts about their achievements, but when you dig deeper, the facts don't align. I had a colleague who convinced everyone that she single-handedly led a major project. But after reviewing the documents, it was clear she had almost no involvement. When confronted, she didn't admit the truth. She twisted the story and accused others of misunderstanding. How to protect yourself? Pay attention to inconsistencies in their stories. Cross-check facts before believing grand claims. Set firm boundaries and call out dishonesty when necessary. 4. Lack of empathy, a hollow soul. Seneca once observed that humans are social creatures, not meant to live solely for themselves. Empathy is what connects us. It allows us to share in the joys and sorrows of others. But for truly toxic individuals, other people are nothing more than tools for personal gain. A story of cold-heartedness. I once worked with someone who had zero emotional connection to those around him. When a colleague went through a personal tragedy, he showed no concern or compassion. Instead, he used their vulnerability as an opportunity to take credit for their work while they were on leave. It was shocking to witness, but it confirmed one thing: without empathy, a person is nothing more than an empty shell. How to recognize a lack of empathy? They dismiss or belittle others' feelings. They only show concern when it benefits them. They take advantage of others' misfortunes. Final thoughts: how to protect yourself from toxic people. The key takeaway? Evil doesn't always come in obvious forms. It often hides behind a friendly smile, a charming personality, or even words of encouragement. But actions always speak louder than words. 3 key lessons to remember. 1. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, listen to your gut. 2. Observe behavior over time. Patterns of manipulation don't happen overnight. 3. Set firm boundaries. You are in control of your energy. Protect it at all costs. Life is too short to be surrounded by people who drain your spirit. Stay mindful, stay strong, and most importantly, surround yourself with people who lift you up rather than tear you down. Are you ready to recognize and guard yourself against these toxic traits? Let's take back our peace and live with clarity and confidence. Flexed biceps. 4. Lack of empathy. A friend is confiding in you about their struggles, but instead of listening, the other person shifts the topic to themselves. This is not a one-time action, but a pattern. They are either unable or unwilling to put themselves in someone else's shoes. People like this don't build relationships on understanding, but turn every interaction into a one-sided transaction. They might fake empathy when necessary, but their indifference becomes evident when there's nothing to gain from the situation. As Marcus Aurelius once said, Do not argue about what a good person should be like, become such a person. Solution: set firm boundaries and avoid letting their coldness make you lose sight of your self-worth. Seek relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. 5. Desire to control. Toxic individuals not only want to control your actions, but also seek to dominate your thoughts and emotions. They manipulate you into doubting your abilities, making you believe that you cannot make decisions without them. They may use sweet words, guilt, or fear to make you dependent on them. Over time, you will lose confidence and your autonomy. As Epictetus said, freedom is the most valuable goal in life, and it only comes when you refuse to be controlled by things beyond your influence. Solution: always ask yourself, does this align with my values? Use this question as a guide for your actions. Those who truly care about you will help you grow, not try to control you. 6. Blaming and distracting. Manipulative people never admit fault. When issues arise, they blame others or external circumstances to avoid taking responsibility. They are skilled at playing the victim, making others feel guilty on their behalf. They may make you doubt yourself, manipulating you by distorting the truth. As Marcus Aurelius said, truth needs no defense, while lies always require complicated stories to sustain them. Solution: stand firm in your position and don't let them control your emotions. Confront them with the truth and set clear boundaries to protect yourself from their psychological games. 7. Finding joy in the suffering of others. One of the most terrifying signs of a wicked person is their pleasure in others' pain. This could manifest as mocking, smug looks when someone fails, or excitement when recounting others' mistakes. They don't seek self-growth through effort or ability, but rather try to elevate themselves by stepping on others. As Seneca said, no one is more unfortunate than those who never face adversity. But for these individuals, adversity is not a lesson, it's a tool to bring others down. Solution: when you notice someone finding joy in the suffering of others, distance yourself from them. A truly strong person will try to uplift others, not tear them down. Toxic individuals do not find joy in genuine success but only feel satisfied when witnessing others stumble. They may sabotage, spread rumors, or intentionally cause harm to boost their own ego. At the core of this behavior is deep insecurity. They need to see others suffer to feel superior. However, this satisfaction is only temporary and cannot fill the emptiness within them. Solution: recognize the signs of such people: their indifference, their joy at others' pain, or their obsession with others' failures to feel superior. Stay away from them, as every moment spent with them is a moment you lose your peace and self-worth. Surround yourself with people who help you grow, those who celebrate your success rather than diminish it. 8. Isolating you from important people. Marcus Aurelius once said that humans are born to work together, and true strength comes from connection. But to malicious individuals, unity is something they seek to destroy. One of their most dangerous weapons is isolation. They attempt to separate you from family, friends, and supporters, making you vulnerable and easier to control. They may start with seemingly harmless remarks, "Your best friend isn't really good for you," or your family doesn't understand you like I do. These words gradually plant seeds of doubt, creating distance between you and your most important relationships. Once you are isolated, they gain complete control over you. Solution: if you feel increasingly distanced from your loved ones, pause and reflect. Re-evaluate the situation and trust your intuition. Do not hesitate to reconnect with family, friends, and those who genuinely care about you. As Stoicism emphasizes, humans are not meant to live in isolation. True strength lies in authentic connections. 9. Envy disguised as concern. Envy is a toxic emotion, but it becomes most dangerous when disguised as care or goodwill. Seneca once said, "Envy is the ulcer of the soul, and those who harbor jealousy do not wish to lift you up, they want to undermine your confidence." They may offer compliments or advice that seem innocent but are actually designed to plant doubt. For example, after you achieve an important milestone, they might say, "That's great, but next time, you should aim even higher to meet a better standard." These words are not meant to encourage you but to make you feel inadequate. They won't attack you directly but will gradually erode your confidence. "You did well, but don't get too excited, many others have done better," or "That's impressive, but I heard someone else did even better." They don't want to see you shine because your light exposes their own darkness. Solution: trust your instincts. If something feels off about their comments, examine the true intention behind them. A genuinely good person will praise you sincerely and encourage your growth. In contrast, a jealous person will use words to manipulate your emotions and weaken your confidence. Set clear boundaries and surround yourself only with people who genuinely want to see you succeed. 10. Never feeling remorse. One of the clearest signs of a malicious person is their inability to feel remorse. Marcus Aurelius once said that instead of debating what a good person should be, we should focus on becoming one. However, these individuals do the opposite. They never admit their mistakes, refuse to change, and always justify their wrongdoings. They always have an excuse for every mistake and will never take responsibility. When they hurt others, instead of apologizing, they blame circumstances or claim that others are no better. If someone points out their faults, they immediately deflect, shift blame, or even accuse you of overreacting. Such people never change because they see self-reflection as a sign of weakness. This is entirely opposed to Stoic philosophy. A true Stoic understands that self-examination, acknowledging mistakes, and correcting them are not signs of weakness but of courage and maturity. Solution: if you are in a relationship with someone who constantly avoids responsibility, reconsider it. Not everyone is willing to change, and you cannot force someone to be better if they do not want to. Protect yourself from toxic relationships and focus your energy on those who help you grow. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, direct your mind toward thoughts and people that elevate the quality of your life. Conclusion: we have explored 10 signs that someone may be manipulating or harming you. Awareness of these signs is your greatest weapon. Toxic individuals can only control you when you do not recognize their tactics. But once you see through them, you can protect yourself and maintain your inner peace. Marcus Aurelius taught that true strength comes from mastering our minds and reactions. Do not let negative people invade your mental space. Set boundaries, stand your ground, and continue to shine because it is your light that they fear the most. Bottomless greed. In Buddhist scriptures, greed is considered one of the three poisons, greed, hatred, and ignorance, that bring suffering to humans. Those with malicious intent are often driven by insatiable greed, whether for money, power, fame, or even control over others. They are never satisfied with what they have and constantly seek to take more, sometimes through deceitful means. Buddhist story, The Greedy Snake. Once upon a time, a snake lived by a stream in the forest. One day, it saw a group of people fetching water and leaving a bag of food on the shore. Out of greed, the snake swallowed the entire bag, even though it knew it could not digest it. Soon after, it suffered immense pain and could not move. When the owner returned and saw the snake writhing in agony, he felt pity and tried to help. However, the snake, out of fear, attacked him instead. In the end, greed destroyed the snake. Lesson. A greedy person never knows contentment, leading themselves into suffering and harming others in the process. The Buddha taught that contentment, knowing what is enough, is the path to peace. If you encounter someone with bottomless greed, keep your distance and avoid being drawn into their cycle of desire and possession. Sweet lies. People with bad intentions often disguise their true nature with sweet words. They know how to say what others want to hear to gain trust, but in reality, they are manipulating and taking advantage of others. Buddhist story, The Girl and the Fox Spirit. In a village, a beautiful girl got lost in the forest and encountered a fox spirit. The fox transformed into a handsome young man and spoke gently, promising her a happy life. Trusting him, she followed him to a cave, but when she discovered the truth, she was imprisoned and nearly became his meal. Fortunately, with the help of an elderly monk from the village, she escaped and realized that not all sweet words are sincere. Lesson. The Buddha taught that honesty is one of the highest virtues. Sweet lies only lead to suffering. When dealing with people who constantly flatter or make grand promises, judge them by their actions, not just their words. Domineering and controlling nature. Those with malicious hearts often seek to control others and force them to comply with their will. They do not accept differences and frequently use pressure and fear to make people submit. Buddhist story, King Ajatasattu and the Buddha. King Ajatasattu, driven by ambition, killed his own father to seize the throne. Influenced by bad counsel, he once intended to destroy the Buddha and his monastic community, fearing that Buddhism would weaken his power. However, when he met the Buddha, he was moved by the wisdom and compassion of the Enlightened One. Realizing his mistakes, he deeply regretted them but could not change the past. Lesson. Domineering individuals can cause great harm, but they are also victims of their own ambitions. The Buddha taught that desires are the root of suffering. If you encounter someone who always imposes their will on others, stand firm in your beliefs and do not let them control your thoughts. Jealousy and envy. Jealousy is a toxic emotion that makes people malicious, seeking to bring others down instead of improving themselves. Those who are envious cannot stand seeing others succeed and will go to great lengths to undermine them. Buddhist story, Devdatta and the Buddha. Devdatta, the Buddha's cousin, was once an intelligent monk but was consumed by envy. Seeing the Buddha receive great reverence, he tried every possible way to overthrow him, even attempting to assassinate him. In the end, his jealousy only led him to misery, downfall, and the inability to attain the peace that the Buddha had. Lesson: envy not only harms others but also destroys oneself. The Buddha taught that instead of resenting others' success, one should use it as motivation for self-improvement. If you encounter jealous individuals, it is best to stay away and not let them disturb your peace. Lack of remorse. One of the clearest signs of a malicious person is their refusal to acknowledge their mistakes. They always blame others and never take responsibility for their actions. Buddhist story, the murderer Angulimala. Angulimala was once a notorious killer, showing no remorse for his crimes. However, when he met the Buddha, he was transformed by the enlightened one's wisdom and compassion. Angulimala repented and dedicated himself to the path of spiritual practice, eventually becoming an arhat and spending the rest of his life helping others. Lesson: the Buddha taught that anyone can change if they truly repent. However, if someone never admits their faults and constantly justifies their wrongdoings, it is best to avoid getting involved with them. Conclusion: malicious individuals can be found anywhere in life, but Buddhism teaches us not to hate them, only to recognize and distance ourselves from them. The Buddha always emphasized that our peace of mind is more important than anything else. When encountering such people, maintain your compassion but also use wisdom to protect yourself. Have you ever met people with these traits? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this article helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more content.